parties, of course, meeting for the first time in court today. It was about a 90-minute hearing.
This isn't going to end well for you, Blake. Sorry.
Imagine a courtroom drama that's not only about legal battles, but also about careers, reputations, and a massive financial risk. Welcome to the ongoing legal fight between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, a case that has taken on a life of its own, drawing public attention and revealing shocking twists at every turn. What started as a simple lawsuit has now spiraled into a media frenzy with bombshell revelations shaking up Hollywood. So how did it all come to this? Let's dive into the courtroom chaos and the high stakes that could change everything. It all began with a straightforward request. Blake Lively's legal team asked for an extension until March 5th to continue their lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and others. Their excuse? They needed more time to bring in new witnesses to testify. One of these witnesses was Jenny Slate, a well-known supporter of Blake who had previously voiced her backing for the actress. But the request wasn't as simple as it seemed. Blake's team had already been granted an extension back in February, yet here they were, asking for even more time. This set off alarms in the courtroom. Judge Lyman had already shown some patience, giving them extra leeway until Valentine's Day. Yet, when they came back asking for a full month's extension, the judge wasn't impressed. After all, they hadn't even used the time they were originally given effectively. The judge made it clear there were no more favors to be had. The tension in the room was palpable. Was Blake's team simply stalling, or was there a real need for more time? The answer wasn't as clear-cut as it seemed. Now, let's talk about Jenny Slate. Back when this lawsuit first came to light, she was one of Blake's most vocal supporters. In fact, she had publicly declared her loyalty to Blake, standing by her as a friend and ally. She even issued a powerful statement defending Blake, calling the attacks on her reputation disturbing and incredibly harmful. Jenny seemed ready to back Blake all the way until the moment of truth. When the time came for Jenny to take the stand, she shocked everyone by completely distancing herself from the case. In a jaw-dropping move, Jenny denied any direct involvement and made it clear she wasn't willing to testify. This left Blake's legal team scrambling. Was Jenny's decision a sign that she wasn't as committed to the cause as she initially appeared? Or could this be a strategic move by Blake's team, using Jenny's potential testimony as a way to strengthen the case by bringing in more high-profile women? Whatever the reason, Jenny's sudden change of heart raised a lot of questions about the credibility of the case moving forward. As Blake's legal team reevaluated their approach, they quickly realized they needed more than just witness testimonies to keep the case alive. That's when they tried to play a card that, on the surface, seemed reasonable, blaming a separate lawsuit involving Jed Wallace for the delay. They argued that they needed additional time to deal with Wallace's legal action, which supposedly overlapped with their case. At first glance, this argument seemed valid. After all, dealing with multiple lawsuits can be time-consuming, but then came Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, armed with irrefutable proof that Blake's team wasn't exactly playing fair. He revealed that while Blake's team was asking for more time, they had previously denied a similar request from Baldoni's team during the Los Angeles wildfires. Blake's team had refused to show any leniency when Baldoni was facing a legitimate crisis. The hypocrisy was glaring, and it raised suspicions about whether Blake's legal team was simply trying to buy more time in an effort to avoid the inevitable. Friedman's sharp rebuttal left Blake's team on the defensive, showing that every move they made could be under scrutiny. But wait, this drama was just getting started. Brian Friedman wasn't done. In a move that shocked everyone in the courtroom, he pulled out documents revealing that it wasn't just Jed Wallace who was causing delays. It was actually Blake Lively herself who had initiated legal action against Wallace in Texas weeks before his counterclaim. Blake's team had tried to paint Wallace as the source of the holdup, but Friedman's reveal turned the narrative on its head. Blake's team had failed to mention that it was Blake who started the legal battle in Texas first, on January 21st, nearly 2 weeks before Wallace had even filed his own lawsuit. This wasn't just a small oversight, it was a major misrepresentation of the facts. Blake's legal team had been trying to manipulate the timeline to make it appear as though they were the victims of circumstances beyond their control. But with this new revelation, Friedman exposed their strategy, and it left Blake's team with no way to backpedal. The courtroom was in stunned silence as the truth came out. This wasn't just a case about legal claims, it was about a carefully crafted narrative unraveling in real time. After all of this, Judge Lyman had had enough. He had been patient with Blake's team, granting extensions and allowing time for the case to unfold. But after hearing the convoluted arguments about delays and new parties being added to the case, the judge made a swift decision. He denied the request for an extended delay, opting instead to grant just one more day for Blake's legal team to submit their amended complaint. That's right, one day. The look on Blake's legal team said it all. They had been expecting more time, hoping to continue their strategy of stalling, but instead, they were given a short window to get their act together. The judge's decision was clear. No more tricks, no more games. Blake's team had failed to present a compelling enough reason for further delay. And just like that, the balance of power in the courtroom shifted in Baldoni's favor. But Blake's team wasn't ready to give up just yet. In a desperate attempt to control the narrative, they tried to hit Brian Friedman with a gag order, hoping to prevent him from speaking to the media. But once again, the court shut them down. This time, it wasn't just a legal blow. It was a public relations disaster. Friedman was now free to speak openly about the case, and he didn't hold back. What Blake's legal team had hoped to silence, Friedman turned into a megaphone, allowing him to continue exposing the inconvenient truths about the case. This was a pivotal moment in the legal battle. While Blake's team tried to control the flow of information, Friedman was now positioned as the person to watch, and every new statement he made added fuel to the fire. As if things weren't already complicated enough, Baldoni's team made a game-changing move. They launched a website dedicated entirely to the case. And we're not talking about just a simple page with legal updates. This was a full-blown digital repository containing 168 pages of legal documents, an extensive timeline of events, and get ready for this, never-before-seen text messages between Blake and Justin. This wasn't just about making their case public. It was a calculated power move, allowing anyone following the drama to see the evidence for themselves. The website exposed everything: the timeline, the facts, and the damning messages that had been exchanged between Blake and Justin. It was an open invitation for the public to dig deep into the case, and that's exactly what they did. As soon as the website went live, it turned the legal battle into a spectacle, with both sides now fighting not just in court, but in the court of public opinion. Blake's team, they were left scrambling to come up with a response to this bold move. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just a legal battle about reputation. It's about the possibility of a $400 million loss. That's not just a few bad years. It's a career-altering amount that could cripple Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Think about it. $400 million is enough to shake the foundation of their future projects, endorsements, and investments. Even Hollywood's biggest stars can't escape the devastating consequences of a loss that significant. So as the case continues to unfold, the pressure is mounting for both Blake and Ryan. With every new setback, it's becoming clearer that this legal fight might not only cost them in the courtroom, but could potentially lead to a massive financial reckoning. So, what's next? Will Blake's team find a way to turn things around and regain control? Or is this the beginning of the end for her legal battle? With every failed strategy and every new piece of evidence, it looks like the tide is turning in Justin Baldoni's favor. As the stakes grow higher, the case is no longer just about legal fees. It's about survival in the public eye and avoiding financial ruin. Blake's team may be running out of options, and the road ahead is looking tougher than ever. What do you think? Can Blake turn this around, or is this just the beginning of her downfall? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates on this wild ride